What's up guys, Cables here. Today I'm going to do my review of Naruto chapter 575, and in this chapter we go back to the fight between Madara and the five Kages, which I'm glad because I was hoping that Kishimoto didn't skip this fight and he didn't, and nothing seemed like a lot has changed, like it just looked like they're still getting to the fight, so that's good. And in this beginning of the chapter, Madara is basically, owning the Kages because the five Kages are basically, on defensive at this point because what Madara does is that he basically uses this wood style technique and which creates a giant forest, and within this forest has a whole bunch of flowers. And I thought that was pretty cool to see because really what we've seen from like Yamato and I remember like before when the first Hokage was resurrected with the Imperial Resurrection, we just seen a whole bunch of like wood and just trees being created from the wood style technique, which was cool and all. But it's nice to see that that the first Hokage's powers go beyond that. That he can create a whole bunch of forests with flowers and maybe just a lot of plant life in general. And pretty much how Kabuto describes the first Hokage, that during his time that he was so strong that people actually thought that he was a fairy tale. That he was just like a myth, like the Sage of Six Paths. Like that's how strong this guy was. And we're seeing this, like the possible, like I can see a chapter when Madara basically creates a whole bunch of like man-eating plants just spewing from the ground out of nowhere. Like it's cool. Like I like this whole thing with the manipulation of nature and everything like that. Good stuff. And basically, the Kages are almost knocked out and went to sleep because the pollen of the flowers basically make uh, opponents eventually go to sleep or something like that. And when Madara goes up higher to use a fire style technique, the Susanoo appears to actually have legs. And I was actually surprised to see that, Susanoo, because usually when we see with Susanoo, it's always just like the upper body, but no, like this Susanoo actually has legs, which I think is also a little ridiculous, but I think that maybe, Madara Susanoo, it can also go with the armor state because there's three forms with Susanoo. There's the skeleton, the humanoid, the final mode, and then there's the armor mode. And it wouldn't make sense for Madara to be able to go into the armor mode with the Susanoo because I mean this is Madara Uchiha. I mean he has the Rinnegan, Eternal Gekko Sharingan. I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't be able to do that. And so basically when he uses his fire style to try to finish off the other Kages, Onoiki is like down and out and he's just thinking, oh man, I truly looks like I'm gonna die and lose this fight. And then he remembers back to when the first Hokage was talking to him about how he has to have a will as strong as a stone, basically, a stone will. Because basically the first Tsuchikage was telling Inoki that he has to have a strong will, and no matter what happens, even if you're fighting somebody who's stronger than you are, that keep your will strong and never let anybody um, weaken your will, or something like that. It was a pretty good lesson, I guess, that the first Hokage taught Nike, and then he got back up and basically did this Earth style atomic like blast jutsu where he pretty much has like this beam of light and it hits Madara, and the other Kages noticed that on like the left side of Madara's chest there's the first Hokage's face, and then Kabuto, I'm guessing he's talking to himself. He actually goes and says that that this is legit. This is a legitimate union between the first Hokage and Madara Uchiha because it's not like what Danzo had, because we know Danzo had the whole thing with the first Hokage's DNA. That this is actually the legitimate thing, way better, and that basically that Madara is Kabuto's trump card is because it's not just Madara, it's the first Hokage, and it's almost like the union between Madara and the first Hokage. Two of the strongest ninja that have ever existed, and also the two closest descendants to the Sage of Six Paths. So, yeah, Madara Uchiha, I mean, I'm not saying he's invincible or anything, but with all these abilities and whatnot, I don't know how the Kages are going to defeat him. I mean, unless I think, however, that Tsunade might have the key to defeating Madara, as she might know like a weakness to the wood style, because there's a weakness according to Itachi. There's a weakness to every jutsu. Not everything seems invincible or not everything is perfect. And I think that maybe Tsunade might know some type of flaw within the wood style because, she is the granddaughter of the first, and they might use that to their advantage to defeat Madara Uchiha. Because, I mean, with the Eternal Mangekyo Sangan, Rinnegan, wood style, full body Susanoo, I mean, this guy almost invincible. And, I mean, he can summon giant rocks from the sky to the ground. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a hard battle for the five Kages to defeat Madara, but we'll see what happens. And then in the end of the chapter, we have Sasuke who goes in the forest and he sees that somebody walks like running past him, and then he sees that it's his brother Itachi, and that's pretty much how the chapter ends. Now I'm gonna go this whole thing with Sasuke and Itachi because a lot of people have been making a lot of fight predictions between Itachi and Sasuke, and that they're gonna go into like a round two. But really, I don't think that they're gonna fight at all. Because here's why, and there's a few good reasons why. Because you see, the first fight that Sasuke and Itachi had, the first fight, which we've all been anticipating, it had a lot of meaning to it because the main character Sasuke, well, one of the main characters, I should say, his goal in life was to kill Itachi and so that he could avenge his clan because Itachi did kill his mother, his father, and the other members of his clan. And this pretty much drove Sasuke to do the things that he did. He joined Orochimaru so that he can gain power, so that he could, defeat Itachi and find him and kill him, basically. And they did have their fight, and the fight was really good. And if they fight again, it's not have that much meaning to it because why would Sasuke want to kill Itachi really? Like the fight wouldn't really have that much meaning to it, and also Itachi did state that he was going to let Naruto handle Sasuke, that he kind of failed with Sasuke the way that he tried to save Sasuke and help him out and stuff like that, but it didn't turn out well because Sasuke ended up being corrupted by Tobi and whatnot. So really, they're not going to fight, but I do believe they're going to have some sort of like talk and discussion about the Uchiha past and whatnot, and maybe they might have like a short fight and then Itachi will leave and go back continuing hunting down Kabuto and stop Imperial War Resurrection. But overall, this chapter was pretty good. Next chapter we'll probably get the whole interaction with Sasuke and Itachi. Tell me what your thoughts on this chapter below, what you liked about it, disliked about it, and please don't forget to subscribe, and please thumbs up this video if you did enjoy it, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Thank you for watching.